I wanted to jump on because I had a request to show how to glitter a cup from basically start to finish. So that is what we're gonna do today. I want to show you the supplies that I have. So I have my cup. This is a cup that I previously did on a different video. However, I wasn't happy with the way the chameleon pigment turned out. So I'm just gonna epoxy over it, or glitter over it. And hopefully you won't be able to see the pigment underneath, because I will be using this unicorn blend glitter from Yaya's Glitter. So if you're gonna do this with me, gather all your supplies. I've got a cup, my glitter. I'm actually gonna spray paint over top of what I already have done. So this is the spray paint that I use. And I'm gonna use just a white. I think black will be too dark underneath this, so I'm gonna use white spray paint as the base coat. And then if you don't have tape, have your cup taped off already like I do, get your tape, and then epoxy, measuring cup, and a glove. So first off, what I would do is I would grab your tape and I would measure how much you need. So then put your tape around the top. I generally do leave both top and bottom open. However, I did not this time. So just my top is still taped actually from the last time I worked on this cup, which has been a long time ago. It's been sitting in my craft room for months, I think. So now that you got your tape on, the top or the bottom, or just the top, or if you don't have the tape on, it's just personal preference, whatever you prefer. Now let's take the spray paint and let's go spray paint the cup. So I'm gonna stop the video here and then I'll pick up as soon as the cup is dried. Okay, so I have my cup spray painted. Let's see, actually I didn't get any runs in it either. I'm super excited. So while I was spray painting, I thought, I should probably tell them how I put the tape on. So to make sure that I get the tape on straight all the way across, I will show you. I have a silver marker, and then I use these two things and I put them together. These were actually handles from utensils that I had bought, and then the rubber piece broke off. So I just put these two together. You could use popsicle sticks, or I've seen people use the tape, but to me the tape is too thick. So this gives me on top of the width of my marker, gives me exactly the size that I want for the amount of stainless that I want showing on both ends of my cup. So I'll show you how I do it. Let's see if I can lay this down a little bit. I lay it down like this. So there's one on top of the other. Let me see if I can prop you guys up without. I don't think I'm going to be able to. But yet I need two hands. Okay. This should, oh, I have an idea. It's my son's birthday today, so I will just use his birthday present, because it's a nice big box. So make sure you find a flat surface. And then I lay these down flat like this, one on top of the other. I take the lid off the cup, and then since I won't be taping off the bottom of this one, I'm gonna do the top. So then I would take my marker, and that gives me a mark right about here. Yeah, balloons for Hunter's birthday. So see how you can hardly see that line, but yet it's gonna give me a guideline to place my tape. So here goes, and then I'll just place the marker just like this and turn my cup until the lines meet. So now I have a straight line going all the way. I know there's a glare there, but a straight line you can see right here and down here. A straight line going all the way across my cup. So then that'll be my guide for my tape. Thank you, present. So then I will take my tape, measure how much I need, and then I will place it right above the marker line. So you can still see my marker line right there. That way the marker line gets covered by glitter or paint or whatever you're gonna do. So then I'll just use my line as a guide. And then I just go around and make sure to press firmly on the whole cup. So then that way, no paint will seep through the bottom. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of paint like seeping through right like where the tape meets, right around here. But that's easy enough to just take some acetone on a Q-tip and wipe with the Q-tip. So, okay, I think our other cup should be nice and dry. It's only been like 10 minutes, but it's usually all it takes.
Mommy, you can do it? I can do it?
Hold on, I'll do it in just a second, okay?
Okay.
So this is pretty dry. Maybe I'll let it set just for another minute so I can go get a towel, or not a towel, a piece of paper that all my glitter can fall on. Okay. So, also I have to mix my epoxy too. So for using the epoxy method, you really only need a tiny bit of epoxy per cup. So I am probably going to go to the very first line right here, which is 25 cc's or 2.5, I'm sorry, whoa, 2.5 millimeters right here. So part A will go to there and part B will go to the 5, and even that's gonna be too much. So let's do A first. Got my A side, and actually I have Pro Marine coming and I'm so excited. So I'm gonna do it right to the 2.5. Wait for that to even out a second. Maybe I just need to leave his present over here, so that way you guys can see everything I'm doing. I'm using my iPad and not my phone today, so that way you guys can see. So it kind of looks like, oh no, it was just uneven. You guys see? So that is literally like almost exactly on the 2.5 cc line. So then I'm going to put it on my, this box isn't really that straight. Oops. So then we'll go to the 5 cc mark. Sorry, I gotta do it on the table. So then we'll let that even out a little bit. Goes off to the side. And then because you're using this just as the coat for the glue base for epoxy, it doesn't matter if you stir it fast or if there's air bubbles in it. So make sure to scrape the sides and get it to look as clear as possible. I don't see any more streaks or anything in it, just air bubbles. So we'll scrape off the popsicle stick. You can even let that sit a minute, but it looks cloudy, but it's not. It's just a lot of air bubbles in it. So let that sit for just a second. I might even have enough to do both the wine glass and the 20-ounce cup. So on the 20-ounce cup, like I said earlier, we are doing, on this cup, we're gonna do the Yaya's glitter. This one, unicorn blend. Maybe I'll do this one on the wine glass too. I think so. But it looks like this is padded, so maybe we'll see about putting some tape down there. Alright, that tape's not going to stay. We'll just wing it. Alright, so grab your glove. You don't want to apply epoxy with your hands. So take the epoxy and just dip your finger in it. And then you're going to just rub. Rub the epoxy as thin as you can get it. You might need to take a little bit more, but literally just the tiniest little, just enough for the glitter to stick. You don't want like a bunch of epoxy pooled in one area, because then your glitter is not going to look as, it'll look a little matte or glossy. It will not look shiny. So then I usually run my hand over it when I feel like I've got the whole cup covered, just to make sure I get all the spots. And then make sure to hit the bottom again, and those little ridges, depending on what cups you use. This is an Ozark Trail cup, so Ozark Trail has little ridges down there. So I am going to, now that that one's done, I'm going to let this sit on my stand for, I mean, technically I could wait probably at least 10-15 minutes. So I'm just letting it sit here. It's upside down, but it doesn't matter. There's not enough epoxy on there for it to drip. So now I'll do my wine glass. And once again, I'm just spreading it on there. Since this one doesn't have spray paint on it, I could show you guys. like how you can tell if the epoxy isn't over the whole cup. Like if you're missing a couple spots. So make sure to get the bottom. This is actually the first time I've done a wine glass, so I'm learning with you guys. So, okay, so you can see this side is like super shiny and this side looks wet. So I don't have any epoxy on this side yet. So make sure after you think you've applied the whole epoxy to the whole cup, make sure you check every surface on your cup. So I'm just getting the stem. And then the bottom part again, trying to be careful not to get the actual bottom because of that, and the tape wouldn't stick to it. So, okay. And I'm just running my fingers over it again, my whole hand, kind of give it a good even swipe. Making sure I got the corners right there. Perfect. Okay. So at this point, you're done with your glove, and look at how much extra epoxy I have. And I did 2 cups. So technically, you could do even half of the 5 mLs that we did. So that was plenty to cover the cup. So I'm just gonna take my glove off, throw this away. So now I just have my paper here, my scratch piece of paper, and we're ready to glitter. So I like to make sure I have a piece of paper here to catch my extra glitter, and then I've never even used this. I'm so excited to use my unicorn blend. I got it like a month ago. Looks so pretty. Can't really see it through the bag, but oh yeah. And you'll be able to see it better once it's on the cup too. Okay, so let's grab our white cup. And this is the easy part. This part, we just dump the glitter on the cup. Super easy. So, and if I were to do like an ombre, I would, maybe I'll grab my white and I will do an ombre for you guys. No, that'll be for a different video. Okay, so I'm gonna dump. Just dump the glitter onto the cup. Make sure to get all the areas. Sometimes with the epoxy method, you will get areas that look, like I mentioned before, glossy. That means that there's a lot of epoxy in that one spot. So you'll want to go over it again with glitter. So I didn't get the bottom yet, but all I'm going to do, since I have so much on my paper, is I'm just going to go like this and get the bottom. Kind of rub it around in the glitter without touching the paper. And then just give your cup a good tap. And inspect. See, this is why I love the epoxy method, because most of the time you only have to do one layer of glitter. So you can see the whole cup is pretty well covered. So now I'm gonna flip it upside down and put it back on the stand. And then we still have our wine glass to do. So I'm gonna grab that one, grab my glitter, Help if the top was a little opened a little bit more. There we go. You being silly back there. Little girls. Okay, so I got the top done. I'm just gonna give it a good tap. And then make sure I get, oops, this little groove part here. And then the stem. And the base. Alright, now I'm going to give it a good tap. Make sure I get all that excess glitter off. And then I'm going to inspect it, make sure I don't have any, see right here, I don't know if you can see because of this color glitter, but there is a spot right here that I can tell is a little bit more glossier than I'd like. So I'm gonna just dump a little bit more glitter on. Sometimes even just going over the whole, and it might be too because I didn't make a base coat. I didn't do white for the base coat, so I'm seeing more stainless just a little bit through the cup. But it never hurts to go over and just throw on a second coat while you think it's wet. All right. And that is it for applying the glitter to the epoxy. I think I might just quick run my finger. There. All right, there's that. Now I will wait about an hour or so, and then I will come back and show you removing the tape. And that's basically it for glittering a tumbler. I can do another video, or I will do another video on ombre glitter. And yes. So stay tuned. I will be back in about an hour and I'll restart the video. Hey, I'm back. So it's been about an hour or so, and I want to take the tape off of the cup that we just glittered before the epoxy gets too hard. If you wait until the epoxy is dry, you'll have a very hard time getting the tape off, and even you might chip the glitter off when you take the tape off. So I'm going to do the 20 ounce first. So you still don't want to touch it because the epoxy is still wet. So you want to be very careful not to touch it. So I just, and this is electrical tape, so it'd be a little bit harder. I just found my edge piece, or the end piece, and just pulling off. There we go. So that part right here, you can see, this was from before. I'll have to, you can get that off with an X-Acto knife. So then, there's that one. That one's done. And then the wine glass. And we gotta find the end piece to this one. I usually like to do it over either the same paper that you put the glitter on with, or you could just, I have a napkin right here that the glitter is just gonna fall on. There we go. And now you have the perfect line, and you can't see the silver from the marker from marking it from before. So there is our wine glass. So now I will wait until probably tomorrow to epoxy these. And I could do a video on epoxying them, especially the wine glass, because that'll be new for me too. So thanks for watching, and make sure to like the video and subscribe, and I will see you guys all next time. Thanks again. See ya.